At first, she noticed everything: the way you looked at her, the subtle compliments, the warmth in your voice when you spoke her name. She felt your energy, your interest, and like anyone who's being pursued, she got comfortable. But then, something changed. You stopped flirting. You stopped trying to impress her. You stopped feeding the connection she thought she controlled. And now, she's confused. Because suddenly, the man who once made her feel seen is now the man whose attention she silently craves. Let's talk about what goes through her mind when you stop flirting. The Stoic truth behind how stillness creates attraction. 1. She starts wondering what changed. At first, she doesn't panic. She tells herself you've just been busy, distracted, preoccupied. But deep down, she feels it. The energy has shifted. She's used to being admired, validated, chased. Your attention gave her a quiet sense of power. And when it's gone, she feels an emptiness she can't explain. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When you stop flirting, you take your power back from her world and return it to your own. You stop reacting. You stop seeking. And that shift, though silent, echoes loudly in her thoughts. She starts replaying old moments. She asks herself, did he lose interest? Did I do something wrong? Your absence becomes a mirror, forcing her to see how much she enjoyed your presence. 2. She begins to respect your emotional control. Women feel safety around men who can master emotion. When you no longer try to win her through charm, attention, or constant validation, you send a silent message. You don't need her approval to feel valuable. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Freedom, in this context, is emotional independence. Most men crumble when attention fades, but the Stoic man doesn't. He simply redirects that energy inward. When you stop flirting, you create space. And in that space, she begins to sense your self-respect. She sees that your attraction isn't weakness, it's choice. And nothing is more magnetic to a woman than a man who desires her but doesn't depend on her. 3. Your silence creates curiosity. When you flirt less, your absence doesn't just create distance, it creates curiosity. She starts to wonder what's occupying your mind, who you're talking to, why your attention has shifted away from her. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In modern terms, it means this: you don't explain yourself, you don't chase understanding, you allow silence to work in your favor. While other men seek validation through constant communication, you embrace stillness. And that quiet mystery becomes your power. She starts watching your stories more closely. She overanalyzes your words. She thinks about you because she's trying to solve you. But you're no longer the open book she used to read for comfort. You've become a riddle. And that's what draws her back. 4. She tests you to see if you still care. Here's the part most men fail to understand. When you stop flirting, she'll test your calm. She might mention another man. She might try to provoke a reaction. She might even flirt back, just to see if you'll bite. But the Stoic man never breaks his composure, because he understands. Testing is a reflection of her uncertainty, not your weakness. Zeno said, "Man conquers the world by conquering himself." When you stay grounded, when you can smile, respond lightly, and remain unbothered, she begins to see you differently. Your restraint feels like control, and your control feels like dominance. Not the kind that commands through ego, but the kind that radiates through quiet confidence. And slowly, her power over you fades, while your presence starts to linger in her mind. 5. She starts missing the way you made her feel. Eventually, she'll realize it wasn't your flirting she missed. It was the feeling she had when she was around you. You made her feel beautiful, seen, alive. And now that energy is gone. Your calmness, your silence, your focus on yourself. It all creates a contrast she can't ignore. Marcus Aurelius once said, The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. While you're building your peace, she's overanalyzing your distance. While you're improving yourself, she's replaying every interaction, wondering when the connection slipped away. And here's the paradox. When you stop flirting, she starts feeling, because your silence speaks louder than any compliment ever could. So what does she really think when you stop flirting? At first, she thinks you lost interest. Then, she starts to wonder. Eventually, she begins to feel. Your silence forces her reflection. Your restraint demands her respect. And your peace becomes your most attractive quality. Remember this Stoic truth. You don't attract by seeking. You attract by being centered. The man who flirts from need will always chase. The man who flirts from strength will always lead. But the man who doesn't need to flirt at all, he becomes unforgettable. Because she realizes something profound. It wasn't your charm that drew her in. It was your calm. This is the Stoic way.